Adam Schiff had kind of a tough weekend. You see, Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff, the leading star of the so-called Schiff show. Remember when that was going on? Yeah, back to Russia, right? Adam Schiff seems to have pulled a Letitia. It's my euphemism now for alleged mortgage fraud. Because when you get a mortgage, you have to declare whether it's your primary residence or your vacation house. If it's your primary residence, you often get a much better mortgage because the thinking from the bank is, oh, well, they'll pay off their primary mortgage always. The vacation house, they can kind of say, here are the keys and walk away at some point when the going gets tough. But generally with a primary residence, you're going to keep paying. And so the bank gives you a better discount. So if you're Adam Schiff and you're the representative from California, what are you doing out there telling the world that somehow Maryland is your primary residence? What are you doing putting it on your application for the mortgage? That's what he actually did. And guess who tweeted it out over the weekend? You better believe it on Truth Social. Adam, what are you gonna do? Shifty Shift, he writes, is in big trouble. He falsified loan documents. He once said my son would go to prison on a scam that Schiff, along with crooked Democrats, illegally manufactured in order to stage an actual coup, the coup that we led the show with, right? My son did nothing wrong, knew nothing about the fictional story. It was an American tragedy, he writes. Now Shifty should pay the price of prison for a real crime, not one made up by the corrupt accusers. Wow, okay? So this is what he's put out. This comes on the heels of what he also put out over the weekend, which was that he had always suspected Adam Shifty Schiff of being a scam artist. And now he learned that Fannie Mae's Financial Crimes Division had concluded that Adam Schiff had engaged in a sustained pattern of possible mortgage fraud. Adam Schiff said that his primary residence was in Maryland, as I told you, in order to get a cheaper mortgage and rip off America when he must live in California because he was a congressman from California. I always knew Adam Schiff was a crook. He wrote, the fraud began with the refinancing of his mortgage in Maryland on a property in February of 2009, and it continued through multiple transactions. And this is something else, guys, because I want to show you one more piece of evidence that Donald Trump put out there. And it's bad. It's so bad that I'm telling you, Shifty Schiff is getting nervous. Wait till you see his reaction. It doesn't even make sense. He's like so clearly trying to cover his you-know-what. Again, another CYA move. Here we go. So here's the actual documentation. And if you look closely at it, I'm going to have to peer into the camera. Forgive me. Wow. Look at that number 2. He highlighted it. That the mortgage property in question is a principal residence. But it wasn't his principal residence. What the heck? I mean, what a schmo. Like, just to save a few bucks, you're going to, granted, I'm an investor. I encourage you guys to invest. 76 research code word dollar. Please tell me you've done that. If you haven't done that, make sure you do. We'll talk about it a little bit later because if you haven't, you've left a lot of money on the table. I'm only charging you $1. You can cancel anytime. After 2 months, it goes to $9.95. But it's a good thing to do. I look at this and I'm like, okay, I get, right, that $50 a month or whatever it is, it adds up over time. But you don't commit fraud in order to save the $50, buddy boy. You don't, there's right and wrong in life. And what shocks me is how many leading lawmakers clearly don't understand the right from the wrong. So Adam Schiff, he's up a creek without a paddle. He's in a whole lot of trouble because guess what? This carries 30 years in the slammer, up to 30 years. This is like defrauding the government effectively because guess what? This stuff is all backed by FHA. I mean, totally different than what Letitia was suggesting Donald Trump did. And she suggested that he was lying on square footage at Mar-a-Lago and that he inflated the valuation of Mar-a-Lago in order to get a better mortgage rate with Deutsche Bank. Completely different because there was no taxpayer money or guarantees involved. In this case, you get taxpayer guarantees involved. It's a whole different ballgame. And so if you actually say that something's your primary residence when it's not, this could carry a serious implication. So he decided, Adam Schiff, to come out over the weekend and do a little video And one of my team members, David, sent it to me. And I said to him, David, what is this? What is he talking about? Is he talking about Ukraine? Like, what on earth is Adam Schiff talking about? He's like, Trish, he's talking about all the things that Trump said over the weekend. And I'm like, he doesn't even, like, he's not referencing it. He's being uber careful. You know why? He could incriminate himself. This guy's in big old trouble. And isn't it nice? Adam Schiff, let's watch him. Freaking out.
So I literally just got off the plane and, of course, read all the clips about what just took place in the Oval Office. I can't think of a more shameful display by a president of the United States in my lifetime. And when
Okay, so he's also talking about what went down with Brennan and Clapper and Comey and all that stuff, too. He's furious. He's furious at all of it. Plus, he's furious that he's going to get possibly sent to the slammer over his alleged mortgage fraud. Here we go.
Think about all that the greatest generation did, the values that it fought for, when I think of what the country has stood for since, how we have defended democracy around the world, how we have come to the aid of our allies and friends, to see that all so shamefully betrayed is just heartbreaking. What will it take to awake the conscience of this country? Is this now what America is? We are reduced to some kind of a extortionary protectionist racket where a leader of a country whose citizens have fought and died valiantly standing up to a Kremlin dictator is so abused, where we stand for nothing but using our might to extort the weak or the vulnerable. Is this where we are right now? Because this is what we witnessed in the Oval Office today. Decades of hard work and sacrifice by our parents and grandparents, all to be betrayed in such a tawdry fashion. If the President of the United States won't defend American allies and friends and interests, then the Congress needs to step up and do our damn job.
Nobody knows what you're talking about, Adam. I think you might have had some kind of veiled reference there to all the stuff that came out that Tulsi just declassified, that basically, you could have inverted that. And if you were actually speaking against Obama, I would have understood it, because the fact that they used the Oval Office to actually weaponize intelligence against Donald Trump and thus against the American people, that's pretty gross and that's pretty disgusting. But then somehow you're also upset because you're in trouble over your darn mortgage because you tried to save a lousy $50 a month or whatever it was on your interest rate, you fool. Yeah, you're going to go down for that. These people are beyond stupid. And you would think, I'm just saying, you would think if you're in a rather public position, you might be extra careful. But not Adam Schiff. Not any of these people. Not Comey, not Brennan. Like, they think they can get away with anything because their team has been in charge. Well, guess what? There's a new sheriff in town. There is a new team in charge. And you guys are going to have a problem. Because you can't try and scam the U.S. taxpayer out of $50, $10, or 50 cents